I work in media, which means I have the unfortunate circumstance of being served a Matt Walsh video about woke cartoons. Looked at the thumbnail, looked like he was probably complaining about shows like Steven's Universe, which have been a really positive representation for people in the LGBTQ plus community, which is amazing. Matt Walsh unfortunately wants us probably to return to cartoons from the 20th century where they were just riddled with racism, misogyny, wartime propaganda. If you look at Disney, they did a bunch of wartime propaganda in the early days of the 20th century. People like Matt Walsh want us to go back to that because they want children's media to go, ooga booga, scary minorities, and just put in this negative perspective that cartoons used to have. Whereas now cartoons are hopefully progressing forward for both positive and cynical reasons. But people like Matt Walsh want us to return to a point where cartoons can be used to be weaponized against minorities, which is my few-minute videos aren't working, so there'll be another video on this as well. But my last video was about why Matt Walsh's video on woke cartoons is stupid. So I made a point of why cartoons becoming more progressive is a positive and also a cynical thing. So positively, you have creators who genuinely want to be creating content that is representative and wants to help people feel happy, represented and seen in this world, which is amazing. Shows like Steven's Universe do that. But then there's also the cynical point of view where corporations know that increasing representation and diversity will help their bottom line. It is proven with analytics that shows with increased diversity and representation do get better viewership overall because you have more people wanting to watch it, because people who may not watch something feel represented once they're watching this show, so they will watch your show. So the creators genuinely want to represent people, and corporations, some may genuinely want it, but most, money. Should be the last part unless someone wants me to talk about something else specifically, but cartoons are so wide. They go from things like Baby TV up to Evangelion and Rick and Morty. Can't believe I said those in the same breath. So people like Matt Walsh are offended by certain shows like Steven's Universe because they represent people that people like Matt Walsh do not like, because these shows speak to their target audience, which is generally teenagers up until young adults. I know they're shown on things like Cartoon Network, but that's because of a Western perspective of cartoons and how they're seen as mostly for kids. That's a completely other topic. But those shows speak to people who may not feel represented. And teenagers are complex and young adults are complex, and they want characters who are just as complex and who are just like them because they feel represented in a world where minorities are being attacked left, right and centre. And it is up to the viewer to take from these cartoons what they will.